I'm Jesse Elam. I'm with the Cook County Department of Transportation and Highways. I am the Strategic Planning and Policy Director. So our project is called Fair Transit South Cook. It is meant to provide better and more equitable, certainly more affordable transportation to South Cook and the south side of Chicago. And we got there by doing a study that concluded back in 2018 called the South Cook Mobility Study. It found that South Cook had the longest commutes of any place in the county. There were very high concentration of households with relatively limited private vehicle availability. And we also found that many of the same households were having a hard time affording transportation to get to jobs, to get to medical services, to get to whatever. And through the study that I mentioned that we did back in 2018, we looked at a couple of different combinations of service improvements and fare reductions that would help with that. What we settled on finally, and that we discussed with Metra and with Pace Suburban Bus, was a program whereby we would reduce fares on the Metra Rock Island service and the Metra Electric service by about 50%, and we would increase service on Pace Route 352 by about 25%. And we've been doing this program for, at this point, about a year and a half. We started in January 2021. And there is a third component to our program, that is to provide for seamless transfers. Currently, for the most part, it's not possible to get off of a CTA bus or a Pace bus and get onto Metra and go somewhere without paying for another full fare. And so we think that's probably limiting from the customer standpoint. There are people who would like to make transit trips that they cannot afford if they have to pay full fare again. And so we are looking for the third component of this Fair Transit South Cook program is to find a way to fix that, to address it. And so we are working with all the transit operators to see if we can find a path to get there. So a variety of different means. One is intercept surveys. So we've periodically sent teams out to do intercept surveys at stations and at stops. Make sure first that they understand the program, what it's about, and ask them questions about whether they're benefiting from it, what they're doing with it. Those have often been revealing. Turns out when you reduce the cost of something and you provide more of it, people generally like it. And so, that part was no surprise, but we often, got the human details about why they appreciate it, about somebody who started a new job and they wouldn't have been able to get to it were it not for this program, or somebody who's a college student and they previously found it really challenging to afford to get to college every day without the program. So those intercept surveys have been good. We have done a lot of community surveys. So there have been 2 community surveys that we've done. Those have been professionally administered by a survey research firm. Both of them with 500 to 600 responses. So that's been a form of engagement. It's both been a way of making sure that people know about the program as well as a way of finding out about their attitudes about the program and how they use it, that sort of thing. We've also done quite a bit of marketing, mass media marketing. So that's not engagement per se, but it is a good way of making sure that people are aware of it and take advantage of it. So we've done quite a few radio buys. We're doing quite a bit of social media advertisements. We're also going to be looking at more hyper-local media coming up soon. So spending more time with the patches and DNA infos and that sort of thing of the world. And also highway billboards. So this time is actually really ripe for that kind of advertisement because gas prices are extremely high right now. Congestion has roared back as the pandemic is not exactly over, but people are back on the road. And so that's the kind of circumstances that would make that sort of advertising pretty effective. So we tried to strategically place billboards in the same direction as those metro lines would be going. So when somebody's stuck in traffic, they'll be reading that message and maybe thinking about an alternate way of getting to work. So our chief partners are Pace Suburban Bus and Metra Commuter Rail. And so both of them, our roles with them is we have agreements to reimburse Metra for the lost revenue from reducing fares, and there's a little bit more to it, than just we're reducing 50%, but that's roughly it. And so that's all handled at the board level, basically. So they approved the agreement on their end, we approved it, our board approved it on our end. Same thing with PACE. So there's stipulations in there about paying for the increased service. There's also paying for some potential revenue offsets. So that's part of that. They've been engaged from the outset with exactly what the program would look like. We are also meeting with them on a very regular basis, informally about the data and how to make it better. We're also meeting with them regularly about the marketing aspects of it. Their communications teams and our communication team meet roughly monthly to talk through things, and then if there's something more specific that needs to be discussed, then we'll meet off that cycle as well. Well, we just really got engaged with SUMC, so we're looking forward to finding out how we can learn some things from each other. I mean, I think for one thing, that being invited to these workshops has been, I wouldn't say it's directly helped with our program, but it's really shined a lot of light on the diversity of innovation that's going on across the nation, and that's been really, really helpful.